Technique number 9 in the Kenpo Karate for Christ Blue Belt curriculum is securing the storm. For securing the storm, again, storm is going to be a club attack. We're going to be looking at that inward angle 3, again, that you saw a lot of back in purple belt. In fact, there's 3 stick techniques, and they all involve that high inward horizontal line. There is the attack line that they're doing. So we're still in that idea where they're coming in with the right arm and they're swinging that club into horizontally to hit you in the chin, hit you in the neck, anywhere in there. So you've seen the initial step before too, where we'll advance with an extended outward block and punch at the same time. There, we use that in our calming the storm, and we check, punch, and outward back fist. So this is kind of like a grappling version of calming the storm, because it's going to open in much the same way. As the attack comes in, I open with this extended outward with the left, and I'm moving inside the circle. Worst place to be is on that outer edge of that arc. Right at the apex of that circle is where it's going to have its most sting, the most momentum, the most speed. It's going to hit the hardest. So I want to circumvent that circle, then move in towards the center, so that as it reaches the apex, I've already stopped it. I stop it while it's generating that speed rather than when it reaches full speed. And at the same time, I move out of range by moving inside that range, shortcutting it with a punch to the chin all at the same time. So they swing, boom, you just jump right in on them. Extended outward block to that arm, not to the stick, punch to the face here. Now, instead of holding my position between his arms, what I'm going to do now is something we call an arm scoop here. Arm scoop, the way that's going to work is I'm going to overhook. My left arm is going to reach over his right arm here, right off that hit. And I'm going to wrap that arm, catching it at the elbow. And we want to try and not catch it straight, but catch it to where it bends. We want to bend them like they're losing that arm wrestling match. As you wrap over the top, I'm going to step forward with the left, swing the right leg back, and it's like you're doing an uppercut with your left arm here. Again, not catching their elbow straight, but get it to bend. And we want to really pull that elbow forward. You're going to turn your shoulders. Don't turn your back to them, but turn your shoulders to where your body's almost a flat wall to theirs. So as they hit, boom, their right shoulder's a little bit forward. You're going to turn and match that angle of their body pretty closely as you drive that elbow forward. Now, if you do this lock correctly, you'll actually be holding them up because it extends and it really pulls that elbow forward. It's going to turn their shoulders to where they don't have, their balance is already compromised, and the structure, the position is actually, as long as you're holding their arm, you're holding them up. We do this with a takedown where you'll just simply, while you're holding them up, step to where you're not holding them up anymore. Let them drop down. We're not going to do that in this case. In this case, once you've wrapped here, because they still have the stick, and we've got their arm pinned, you're going to reach with the, and I'm grabbing with both hands. In fact, a good way to do the arm scoop is the hand that does this uppercut. We call it the cup and saucer. That's the cup. The other hand comes underneath. That's the saucer here to help support it. And I want to be right at his elbow and wrench that elbow bent and forward this way. And it's a scoop because it's like digging a hole, the way you would use a shovel, and drop down and come back up again, really hooking that elbow, pulling it forward there. Use this cup and saucer idea to extend them. Now once you've got them overextended and you're holding them up, you can let go with the bottom hand, the saucer can reach under your right arm, or under your left arm, to grab their stick, which is in their right hand, and pull it free. They won't be able to hold on to it very well. They're already all twisted up this way. It should come right out pretty easily. Boom, be able to strip it. So just up to that strip here, that snaking strip, I step forward, punch with the right, left hand's forward. I'm going to continue that motion going over the arm as a step with the left, right arm swings back. I use this cup and saucer idea to wrench their elbow forward there. And then reach under, grab the stick, pull it free. Now from here, I'm going to go back, kind of rotating back towards them, release this hold on their elbow. And as I do, I'm going to come around behind their head, and again we're going to use that ridge hand there. So the thumb's got to reach all the way across to the pinky side so I can use the flat edge of this, and I'm coming up behind their head. You want to hit that soft part right underneath their ear. It'll make contact behind that right ear as it comes in and hits behind the head. We saw where we're using this fist and hand together. Now the timing's different. We're not doing them at the same time. I'm going to hit first with the ridge hand to the back of the head. As soon as I do, I'm going to pivot back into a forward bow, and I'm using a sideward kind of a sword hand thrusting palm strike idea. Boom. Or like a sword hand to the throat. There. So it turns and chops to the throat. So I hit ridge hand, then sword hand as a pivot to a forward bow. Cross sword hand with the right hand. And then I'm going to finish by pivoting back to a neutral bow, and I'm doing an outward sword hand with the left. In a lot of ways, it's essentially alternating maces, right? Pivot, punch, but now the strike's coming towards you and we're using sword hand. It's off the opposite side. Inward sword hand with the right, outward sword hand with the left. From there, I'll full cover out to 6 o'clock. The whole thing together is securing the storm. So as they swing in, I'm stepping and punching to the chin, wrapping over, setting that arm scoop. While I've got that arm scoop, I strip. I'll come back into them, rotate back in with that left step so you can orbit around and hit ridge hand behind the head, hand sword to the throat, outward hand sword to the throat. You hit the same spot, boom, twice. It hits once, and then this comes in right, left, quickly. Pivot, pivot, and then full cover out. One more time, securing the storm. I'm going to do that again just to be sure the angles are correct. Securing the storm, I wrap, disarm, hand sword, ridge hand, hand sword, and then full cover out to 6 o'clock.